So you've got 30 or 60 seconds to catch the attention of the person that you're talking to. What should you say? In this video today, we're going to talk and answer the question of what to talk about in an elevator pitch. Sometimes these are also known as elevator speeches. So 3 conversations that we're going to have today. First, what is the purpose of the elevator speech or pitch? Then we're going to talk about why people don't want to hear your pitch. And if we want to know what to talk about in elevator speech and people don't want to hear our pitch, we got some issues that we need to overcome. Though luckily our third conversation that we're going to be having today is what are some alternatives to the elevator pitch that works? So my name is Tiffanie Kellog. Glad to see you here. My goal is to help people make more money, save time, and have some fun through networking and referral generation. And elevator pitches and speeches are often talked about when it comes to this conversation of let's go networking. So I thought I would start us off today with a conversation around, okay, what is the purpose of doing an elevator pitch or an elevator speech? And back in the day, I believe it was out in Hollywood, if you could catch the director, you had to give them your spiel. Let me tell you, in the time it took that we were in the elevator together to tell you all about my movie, all about my script, so people could be interested in what they have going on. Now, this may have worked back then. However, when we think about this idea of elevator pitches and speeches now, most of the time I hear people talk about their elevator pitch or their elevator speech in regards to, hey, I'm going to go to a networking event and we're going to meet some people and I need to sell them on my product or service in 30 seconds or a minute. And this brings us to this idea of people don't want to hear your elevator pitch. Because if we think about networking, most people go to networking. Okay. When's the last time you went to a networking event with your checkbook in hand, credit card ready to go, and you're like, yes, I am ready to buy from people that I meet today? Nope, not usually. Well, many people go networking to sell, very people go to buy, and we call that the networking disconnect. People aren't there to buy your product or service. My goal when it comes to networking is to book a meeting from a meeting, and we've got another video that talks all about that aspect of networking. So the elevator pitch, the elevator speech is a little outdated because you're using a tool to try and convert somebody from being a prospect to a client when they don't want to. So what we want to do is look at what are some alternatives to the elevator pitch that work. And I think that's going to be key here. When we're going to these networking events, we have to keep in mind, what is our goal? What is our intention? What is it that we're trying to create? Because different networking events work differently. And so if I'm thinking about, all right, I'm going to this networking event and I get to stand up in front of the room or on Zoom, and for 30 or 60 seconds, I get to share, here's my product or service. I get to tell you, here's all the stuff that I've got. In that instance, what I typically recommend that you use is a success story. Now, a success story isn't just, hey, Johnny used my product and service, he loved it. The formula I like to use for success stories is, where were you before, the product or service that you used, and where are you now? So you want to talk about your client's success, especially focused on the benefits of what they got as a result from working with you, not necessarily the process of working with you. And anytime I'm doing that 30 or 60 seconds, my goal is also to have a call to action. Now, again, if we think about it, a networking event, people aren't going to buy. Do I really want to sell to the people that are in the room, whether it's in person or online? No, my goal is to sell through the people in the room. And so I want to share what a good referral would possibly be. And this could be, what's a good client, what's a good referral source. It could be something like, I'm looking to book a speaking engagement, or like me on social media, leave me a review. You can be creative, but you want to make sure you always have a call to action. And of the 3 alternatives, this one's probably the closest to a speech, since you're having this in a large group or setting and other people are listening to you. So that's our first alternative. The second alternative is when we're speed networking. And again, I think this can be done one-on-one in person, or this could be done on Zoom. Now, it could be a one-on-one conversation on Zoom, or I have seen some speed networking events where you get the opportunity to have 3, 4, or 5 people in the room. I think that regardless of which way it is, you can certainly have it to where people can listen either way. So I'm good with it. It doesn't matter how many folks. What I do like to include 3 options. And unless you have like 3 or 5 minutes, I wouldn't do all 3 options. The first option is share your story or your why. At Ascentive, we call this your emotionally charged connection. This is what lights you up inside. This is, why you love doing what you do. And if you go to YouTube, put in Tiffanie Kellog, emotionally charged connection. I've got a video there of me sharing mine just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. So that's option 1, share your story or your ECC, emotionally charged connection. Option 2, when you're at a speed networking event, is again, success stories. I love success stories because I think they give you such an opportunity to tell about what you do, but wrapped up in a story. The saying, stories sell where facts just tell. I can put in, what type of client it was, the product or service they used, what benefited for them, their results. There's so much I can put into that story. And it's much, much easier for people to remember it. So that's option 2, when speed networking. And our third option is benefits. Now, too often people love to talk about the features of the product and service, and nobody really cares. I know, you're like, wait, what? What do you mean nobody cares? Too often people want to lead with features and then benefits because whoever named it did features and benefits, but they really got it backwards. To me, it should be benefits and maybe features. I don't even know that we actually need the features part of it. To me, let me give you all the benefits. And then if somebody has a question, you can get into the feature side of it. So we've got in a group, we've got when speed networking. And so what if I'm networking in person? I'm having a one-on-one conversation with somebody. Do I pitch them then? And my answer, guess, is no. So when I'm at a networking event in person, I'm having a one-on-one conversation with somebody. The goal is I like to use my funneling conversation. Now, my funneling conversation is a series of questions that in less than 60 seconds, I can determine, are you a prospect for me or not? Typically, these are yes/no questions, and you get the opportunity to ask and see if they're a prospect without actually, getting into, let me pitch them. So if I'm at a networking event and I'm talking to someone, oh, it's so nice to meet you. I ask, what do you do? They share, and I wait for them to say, well, Tiffanie, what do you do? And I share, I help people make money, save time, and have fun. If they ask me, well, how do you do that? I ask, well, let me ask you, are you looking to grow your business? They say yes. I said, great. Would referrals help you grow your business? They say yes, then, yeah, I love referrals too. So if you could double or triple your referrals this year, would that be a benefit? Would that be of value to you? And if they say yes, I'm like, great. Well, what I do is I actually work with entrepreneurs who are looking to dramatically grow their business by referral. And I have various different workshops and programs that I offer. And then if they're still there with me and they seem interested, then I follow up, would you like an invitation to my next free program that I'm hosting? Throw me a business card or let me have your contact information. Now, at any point in time in that funnel, I asked and they gave me a no. All that would do is tell me they're not a good fit for me. And I love the fact that I've been able to pre-qualify before I even get into what I do. Because if they're not a good fit for me, why would I try to sell them? I wouldn't. If I own a carpet cleaning company and I'm talking to somebody, do you own your own home? And they say no, they're probably not going to pay to get the carpet cleaned. If I'm a vet and I'm talking to somebody, do you have a pet? And they're like, no, probably not going to come to see me in a professional capacity. And so I love the idea of the funneling conversation because it gives us the opportunity to qualify without the other person making the decision on our behalf. So these are our 3 different alternatives that I recommend that we can use when delivering a pitch or a speech when you're networking, though, as you can tell, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of actually doing the old school hard sell elevator pitch. To me, you are better off to share your why, to share success stories, to share benefits, to utilize your funneling conversation when networking. And I'll tell you this, people will have a much more enjoyable time talking to you if they don't feel like you're pitching them. Now, if you are looking to do some networking to get more referrals, maybe you want to join us for our MORE Referrals, 5 steps to referral success. If you go online, bit.ly/TK5steps, we do have a 5-week program where it's focused on getting you more referrals. And as we mentioned, that one of our alternatives, if you're delivering to a group in that 30 or 60 seconds, is your call to action for the referral. We include a couple of different options for that, as well as we talk about how to ask for a referral that won't get you to know, will create success. And you can do that in person, on Zoom, or online as well. So hopefully we'll see you soon in the MORE Referrals, 5 steps to referral success. And thank y'all so very much for joining us here today.